Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. Any moment now, the first COVID vaccines will ship out from the Pfizer plant here in Portage near Kalamazoo. You're looking at the very first truck that was loaded up with vaccines this morning at that Pfizer plant. It's a FedEx truck. It'll be heading west this morning. We'll have the latest on these developments out of Portage all morning long. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock. I'm Grant Herms.
And I'm Nick Monticelli. Crews at the Portage plant are working to roll out those vaccines. Let's get right now to Victor Williams outside of that plant, watching those trucks and almost feeling the anticipation and the excitement in the air as well, Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel it literally all around us. You can take a look behind me also and see all the workers who are coming out, preparing to get those vaccines out into the open. We know that this is really just going to be the first wave of many coming in the upcoming weeks. But the folks here, not only at Pfizer, but the folks here in Portage all together, they're all just really happy that their small town is going to have a huge impact on all of America. So once again, we are here waiting for them to go ahead and start pulling out. This is something that we've seen that's been different from what we've seen this morning with all the workers just right here on the outside. But like you guys did say earlier, the anticipation is of course building, and we're going to be staying right here all morning. Reporting live from Portage, Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Victor. A lot to watch there in Portage. Also a lot to watch in our weather this morning as we keep an eye out west.
Andrew, good morning to you. Of course, the weather could be a factor as we watch these vaccines. We know we've got something in the forecast. As long as the roads stay clear, that could help as well.
Well, here in southern Michigan, roads have stayed clear. We had rain yesterday that cleared up by the afternoon. If those trucks are headed farther north, they're going to run into snowier conditions from the snow that already fell yesterday. No more new snow falling to our north, but many folks north of Saginaw received 6 to 12, even up to 14 inches of snow up toward Gaylord. Now today around here, we're looking at cold conditions this morning, chilly conditions this afternoon. 20s and 30s this morning we've seen. It's 31 right now, and it feels like it's in the 20s with a wind of 9 miles per hour. Road surface temperatures mostly around freezing or lower now across all of southeast Michigan. If you're just joining us, we had some roads that were slightly above freezing. This is key because we have misty conditions persist by the time 11 o'clock rolled around last night, when you joined me last night at 11 o'clock, and shortly afterward. But we are looking at mostly dry conditions on area roads with a few slippery spots here and there. Just be cautious on ramps, bridges, and overpasses. We'll talk more about your week's forecast in minutes.
All right, thanks, Andrew. We do want to get back out to Portage here this morning as we've been watching workers pack up the vaccine all morning long.
Yeah, so there are so many things happening this morning. We have seen live images inside of the Pfizer plant, the dry ice being poured into boxes because we know it has to be kept at an extremely low temperature. Workers working around the clock. Victor Williams is there in Portage as well. Victor, you've been talking to some people in the area, and you mentioned the anticipation, the excitement, but also let's talk about those workers at the plant. They're working all day long, 24-hour, 48-hour shifts, trying to make this happen.
Yeah, that's right. This is Operation Warp Speed, and it's obviously a very important task for the folks here inside the Portage plant to go ahead and get everything together. But it's going to be not only them working to get all of these doses in the boxes, but from there, it's going to be them getting it out to all of the people here in America. We know that the folks who are going to be at the hospitals and the folks who are living in the hospitals at the nursing homes, those are going to be the ones who are first up to getting the vaccine. And then after that, as the more doses become available, that's when the FDA is telling people to go ahead and get vaccinated. We're going to go ahead and show you some shots from inside of the building, which shows them packing everything into the boxes. And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll show you some of the stuff from the inside of the freezers, them getting those vaccines out, trying to make sure everything is fine. But once again, all of these workers all out here working as fast as they can for Operation Warp Speed, hoping to get these vaccines out to people. We know that number is 636. Those are the amount of hospitals and locations that are going to be receiving the vaccine this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And of course, we'll be talking about that all morning as we're right here in Portage, awaiting these trucks to go ahead and head out. Back to you.
All right, Victor, thank you very much. You know, Grant and I, we were talking in the newsroom just a few moments ago about the logistics of pulling all this off. Not only the workers working around the clock, but the DOT regulations that have to change so the truck drivers can work the extra hours, the air traffic controllers moving things out of the way so the planes have priority landing to get the vaccines on the ground.
Right, and we said earlier, FedEx and UPS splitting the country right down the middle. UPS is taking the eastern half of the country, which includes Michigan. FedEx and that truck you saw there behind Victor heading west to cover the western portion of the country. And those two are really doing the heavy lifting, a lot of them being loaded onto planes. Like you said, the FAA changing their regulations this morning as well. And we're also going to talk about the workers we saw all morning long. We're going to take you back inside as we go through our morning here, because they have been working in that West Michigan packing plant, packing boxes with COVID vaccines. What we know tomorrow is that they'll ship out 145 sites where those vaccine doses will hit first, Michigan among them. On Tuesday, it'll be 425 sites as those trucks and planes make it further out towards the coast. And then on Wednesday, the final 66 sites, and those doses will make it. Here in Michigan, we're going to get about 84,000 doses in this first batch, with more in the coming weeks. And starting this week, Michigan will distribute the vaccine in 4 phases. It'll be first given to healthcare workers and people in long-term care facilities. The next phase includes essential workers. The third phase includes people 65 and older, including people who are 65, and anybody with an underlying medical condition. That last phase is all other adults. That'll most likely happen in March or early April.
Now, the vaccine is coming, of course, at a critical time. On Friday, the U.S. saw a record number of deaths, more than 3,300, and the country had surpassed 16 million cases. In Michigan, the state reports more than 4,400 new cases with 206 more deaths. 176 of those deaths identified came from a review of those records. The state also updated the number of recoveries. Michigan now has more than 236,000 recoveries. Now, right now on clickondetroit.com, you can find articles addressing some of the biggest concerns and questions about the vaccine, and of course more on Michigan's plan to distribute it. Now, we've got a lot more coming up here on Local 4 News today, but we do want to check in with Andrew as well.
Andrew, we saw a lot of rain yesterday. What's the rest of the weekend look like?
Looks like it's going to be dry, but colder air has now moved in since last night. Temperatures are back in the 20s and low 30s. Where do they go from here? We'll talk about this afternoon's forecast and your week's forecast straight ahead.
And breaking news, we are hearing again, those vaccines are going to move out of that plant any moment now. FedEx, UPS splitting up the country. We have some video we can show you here in just a few moments of inside packers loading those boxes with dry ice and getting these trucks loaded. Pallets, high-lows moving out of those trucks, semi-trailers as we speak. And this is the one that's going to move out of here any moment. That'll be the first shipment of vaccines leaving Pfizer in Portage near Kalamazoo, again, any minute right now.